G'day everybody. How are we all? How are we all? Uh, I've done it to myself again. I have deleted all the footage, which is a shame because I had some really cool footage of the chooks and compost, and I even poked the compost with a stick because I thought there might have been a snake or a rat in there, and gave it a good poke, so it was still in there. He wasn't happy, but I've since found out it wasn't a rat. It was a big family of mice. So turned to compost. I've done a fair bit around here, fixed the chicken coop, and yeah, just been pottering around, looking at stuff, doing stuff, cutting stuff. So yeah, the chicken door, all I've really done is I've put an extra little brace down there. See, a little brace, and that stops it coming forward. And because Leah had heaps of problems with this, and I did as well, it's lodged into the ground. Instead of having to pull that out now, what we do is we just lift the gate, give it a bit of a kick, and then it goes, and then we do up that cattle latch. The reason I've got it like that, I know it looks a bit messy, is that that's where the wood is in there. There's nowhere else really to mount it, so just is what it is. See, I had one crack there and missed it. Good work, Brendo. Yeah, pretty rustic stuff, really. I've also got this piece of green plastic. Someone paid me to put a dog-proof thing at the bottom of their fence, and I just had this left over laying around for years. It's quite pricey, so I'm lucky to have it, and that will do a very good job because the chickens were escaping under there. So job done, feels good. This, I planted probably a cup and a half of chicken feed wheat, and now this will all be hybrid, so I don't know whether it'll grow wheat or not, or whether wheat would be any good. But see that big crack there? That's it forcing its way up. Like, I put heaps in there. So that's because the chickens are going to come and smash it as soon as it gets through that wire. And I'll leave that wire there so they don't pull it out by the roots. So they just eat the green stuff on top. And that is super duper healthy for them. Been thinking I'm going to make this a multiple stone fruit tree. So I'll probably graft a peach on there and maybe an apricot. I'm not a massive fan of apricots, but Leah loves them. So get an apricot out there and show you this. It's cool. This is our worm castings, one of our worm castings experiments. Let's have a look. So on the right, worm castings. On the left, no worm castings. That one is a lot healthier. That one's a bit yellow, still pretty healthy, but definitely this one got transplant shock. That one might have got a touch of transplant shock, but not really. So that's just had a big boost from the word go. And that one, they'll be fine. But it'll be interesting to see how they go as we go along, whether that continues to be the case or we need to reapply. I think we might need to reapply. We'll have a look. Let's go and have a look at the compost, and then we'll come back down here. Cool. Almost forgot to tell you about this biochar. So that's been going for about 6 hours. I'll leave it till tomorrow morning. And up this end of the bed, on the left will be no biochar, on the right will be biochar, and they will both get the same amount of sun. Now, you guys are probably figuring out I'm a pretty simple sort of bloke. I'm the sort of bloke that gardens in Ugg boots and trachydacts, and love it. But there's nothing better, well, not much better than a good stirring stick, guys. You know what I'm talking about. You all love a good stick. Oh. Look at it stir. Look at it. I might just do this for the next 45 minutes. Don't worry about going up to the compost. You can nearly eat that. So yeah, more experiments, and a ripper stirring stick. So I've turned this, given it a good turn. You can see it's quite cold. Still picking up though. It's about 5 degrees warmer than it was about an hour ago. And that's probably because I put so much water through it. As I was turning it, mice nicked off over the back there. I don't actually mind if there's mice in here, it doesn't bother me. They're breaking stuff down too, but it does raise the question of predator pressure. So this shed is a perfect place for snakes. And they will inevitably follow the rats and the mice and the chicken, especially when it starts to rain and it gets wet. And we had one out in the other compost heap, this one out here the other night, but it nicked off. When it heard me, I surprised it. It might have been having a snooze or something, but yeah, we had one in there, and I saw it nick off under the gate over there. I didn't see what it was. It was just a snake. So if these girls get in there, they'll eat those mice, which is fine. Nature. So yeah, I got a thing. Look, you guys probably all watch the FNN, Food Forest Namibia. Most of you do. If you don't, they're our sister property, big sister property, and they have problems with termites. I was wondering about this, whether this could help with younger trees before they get established. So just put a bucket around them, chop the bottom out of the bucket, and perhaps if you put the bucket low enough, it can create a barrier that'll stop the termites getting in. I'm not sure how deep the termites go. Couldn't tell you. But, you know, it's a thought. And it might be wrong, but it might be right. They've been trying to rip my walking onion out here this morning. I keep a pretty good eye on them, but, you know, can't keep an eye on them all day. Sort of brings me to my next topic. Mulch and chickens. So we saw probably what happened at Emmanuel's shop. If you guys don't know, Emmanuel has just started a shop. He's growing his own food, and he picked up all the mulch that old corn stalks that he had grown, and he chucked them all out when they were supposed to be for mulch. So it's all right. We live and we learn. It's a little bit frustrating, but we live and we learn, right? But I think I have a small understanding, and I'm just guessing that this might be an issue. So the reason I haven't mulched this up here is because of chickens. They love mulch, and mulch attracts biology, and biology attracts chickens. So as soon as I put it down, they just take the invite. They see it as an invitation. It's probably because I use it as deep litter in their coops, and they think it's home, which is cool. And this is the thing with chickens, right? If you've got them and you're going to free range them, you've got to understand that they will poop everywhere. They don't care about your stuff, and they'll do what they do. So I'm a sucker. I let them out when I probably shouldn't, because they're eating all my ryegrass, and I really want that to take off. Which brings me back to mulch. Maybe the chickens were kicking the mulch all around the place, kicking it into their pathways and stuff like that. We know how they are about mess over there in their yards. They like to keep it nice and clean and sweep the dirt, etc., etc. So it might have just got a bit too much, but perhaps I should have consulted to know before they did it. I'm not sure. It's none of my business. But this, to me, seems like it would be a fairly large contributing factor. So yeah, the thing with chickens is you're never going to have a neat and tidy yard. And it would be lovely if you did, but you'd spend all day picking stuff up and wiping stuff down. Have we got any eggs? What do we got? 5. So I got one before. I'll come back and get them in a sec. Good girl, hey? Give us that free food. That's the thing you got to remember with them too, you know, they're giving you eggs. They're dumbass. It's not their fault. It's just what they do. They are little balls of instinct. So yeah, I was thinking maybe biochar is something we could have a think about. It holds a lot of water, from what I can tell, and that's what that is. That's biochar that I made this morning, and we're going to put it there. So maybe biochar, if the termites don't eat it, gives them a mulch that looks like dirt. But having said that, it's pretty hard to replace biomass, you know, compost, things like that. So maybe compost is the answer. Compost is a mulch. Or maybe people just need to learn a little bit more, I guess, and he will, and we all will. So have a look at this. This is my slug trap. Lotte was asking me about slugs, and somebody suggested this to me. It's not my idea. But I did catch a slug under that this morning, and I moved it. So I'm making a little bit of a pathway. Only one, which is good, but they will be coming, especially with the amount of green waste and compost and stuff we're going to be putting in here. They'll just migrate their way into the yard. I chopped and dropped this morning, and it's good. Just want to give the plants a bit more of a chance, a bit more sun, a bit more water, and give the ground a little bit of a feed. So while I don't think it's as great as normal mulch, it's definitely better for the slugs and snails. And then when you chop and drop it, I guess you are using traditional mulch then. So yeah, what else did I do? that's about it, guys. I think that's about it. You guys have a look at that. See, this is what I mean about chickens. I buried a potato under there yesterday, right next to her. So whether that potato is still there or not, who knows. But it's what you got to put up with, isn't it? It really is what you have to put up with. All right, guys, have a lekker day. Have a wonderful week. I'll speak to you soon. Bark, bark, bark.